I was told I need to do two things. One, not knock over Ray's whiteboard, but two, stand near the microphone. So we'll see if I am able, as a fighting Texas Aggie, not sure I have the dexterity to do both. So we'll see if this happens without anyone dying. One, appreciate all you nice folks for putting this together. Real honor to get to spend a few minutes with you here this morning in advance of the 84th legislative session kicking off. Maybe you guys didn't get the memo, but you're not supposed to be here. You're not needed right now. You're needed in January of next year to go out and knock on doors and hand out pamphlets and all that kind of stuff. For your incumbent is why you're here. You exist to serve them. You all got the memo. You didn't? No. We got to spend a little more time educating you then, apparently. Look, by virtue of you being here today, what's going on today is indicative that our team has won. Not that we're winning, not that we might win. No. This happening today is indicative that we have won. The work that Scott Turner and his allied House members have done is indicative that you have won. Because think about this. This is going to be the first time in 40 years, more than 40 years, that there has been an actual vote on the floor of the Texas House for two actual visions for the future of Texas. Two different visions for the future of Texas. Now, we've had a recorded vote a couple of years ago that was a do you or don't you like Joe Strauss vote. And that's interesting as those things go. This vote, though, is not about personalities. The vote tomorrow is not about personalities. Now, some will want to make it about personalities, and certainly personalities are taken into consideration. But the vote tomorrow is one about vision. Whose vision do our members of the Texas House align themselves with? Do they align themselves with the vision of the Austin establishment, with the lobby? Or do they align themselves with the boldly expressed positive vision of Texas that voters hold on to? That's the question before members of the Texas House. Now, how they vote really isn't relevant, quite frankly. Now, it would be nice to think that some of them will grow spines, some of them will grow consciences, that some of them will do the right thing, and some will. It'd be nice to think a lot of them will do the right thing tomorrow. But whether they do the right thing or not is of secondary importance to the fact that they have to do it. It's of secondary importance to that no longer does this decision get made in the back rooms behind closed doors. Never again will a Speaker of the House be assumed to be reelected without a challenge. Never again. This is now a notice going out that you folks are doing, that folks from around the state are doing. When you've got Harris County, Tarrant County, Dallas County, Collin County, lots of counties who have their GOP executive committees saying they either want a new speaker or explicitly they want Scott Turner. Those are some uncomfortable questions that incumbent members are going to have to answer when they show up at home if they don't vote in accordance with the wishes of their people. They now understand that this vote is not something that's going to happen in the back rooms. This is something that's going to be made in front of full view of the people. They're going to have to answer for their vote because they have two competing visions. When I walked into the office this morning, sitting on my desk, I'd been out last week, sitting on the desk was some mail, including a letter from one of our conservative when convenient Republicans. And it was a personal note explaining why his backbone had been surgically removed. And he explained to me in the letter that, he would have really liked to vote for Scott Turner, but he's just not sure that Scott Turner can win. And all I could think was, I bet that William Travis is really thankful you weren't at the Alamo. All I could think was, I bet Sam Houston was so glad that on the fields of San Jacinto you weren't hanging around. I am certain that George Washington was thankful that on the 3rd of January this guy wasn't buzzing about Philadelphia. Because this is the guy who would have said, well, King George's been in power for a while. I appreciate that he wants to be a conservative. I don't appreciate that he only wants to be a conservative when it's convenient. I appreciate the fact that he pays lip service to the reforms that are important to Texas. I don't appreciate the fact that he's only willing to do so when he knows they can win. I appreciate the fact that when he campaigns, he says the right things, but it upsets me that when he governs, he just does what the lobbyists tell him. That's frustrating. But this vote tomorrow is going to be a vote in which he's going to have to declare publicly who he's for. Is he for the establishment? Is he for the lobby? Or is he for the people of Texas? That's going to be the vote he declares tomorrow. And no matter what the vote total is, those who vote for the establishment will have some explaining to do beginning that very next day. Because they're going to now own the records of the Texas House. They will not be, as many of these cats have done, they come home and say, oh, Joanne, I would have voted for whatever, but that mean old Speaker Strauss, he wouldn't let us. The leadership held it up. The Democrats, ooh, the scary Democrats, all 7 of them. They held it up. Nope. You held it up. Has got to be our answer. And I would suggest to you that you and I cannot allow ourselves to be bought off with baubles purchased with our tax dollars, and we can't be placated by their platitudes. I am relatively certain that because of you being here today, and the many more who are going to be joining us throughout the rest of the day and tomorrow, that I'm absolutely certain that your presence here is going to result in them begrudgingly taking up 1 or 2 things. That's great. 1 or 2 things is nice. We didn't send them to office. We did not entrust them with our power to do small things. We didn't give them authority to do nibbling around the edges. No, we elect them to come and do bold things. That's what we expect, bold things. If the margins of the Texas House were thinner, then yes, maybe we should be grateful for them attempting a couple of things. With 2/3 of the chambers of both houses being self-proclaimed conservatives, regardless of what they are, right? Because no one campaigns for higher taxes. No one campaigns for bigger government. No one campaigns for more regulations and reduced liberty.
Yes!
No. No one can. Yeah, okay, well. Okay, there's always Trey Martinez Fisher. Set him aside. And even the Democrats apparently were too enthralled with him in San Antonio. No. They campaign on our messages. You and I have to expect them to deliver. And we can't be bought off with a couple of things. No, we want attempts on everything. We've earned it, and we demand it. Lastly, I would suggest to you that if the House Republicans vote, the majority of the House Republicans vote for the incumbent, they will put to lie the notion that Austin is somehow different from Washington, D.C.
Right. Yes.
We have heard this spoken repeatedly for the last, year of, we don't want to be like Washington, D.C. I think a lot of us, I mean, Joanne has said this forever, and others in this room have said, oh, Austin feels a whole lot like D.C. I mean, in many ways, I think Austin is probably more left of center than even Washington, D.C. is. But they talk about, oh, we don't want to govern like Congress. You know, Texas legislature is different. And we would say, yes, you're supposed to be different. But tomorrow, if they vote for the incumbent speaker, the members of the Texas House will be saying, no, we're just like Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. And that's something each one of us should remember next March. We are 14 short shopping months away from hiring members of the Texas House. I know for certain, and I've met a couple of them, there are a couple of them in this room, I won't out you, who have both the time and the passion, and then a couple of them, even the personal resources to run for the Texas House. And these folks have communicated to me and to others that the vote tomorrow will be the tipping point vote for them. And you and I, as they start self-identifying, I should probably start helping them now. A friend of mine, who's an aerospace engineer, he's probably the smartest friend I have. Well, clearly not that smart because he wants to be friends with me. That's another issue. He likes to know with a long enough runway, you can make a brick fly. Okay? Don't need a lot of thrust, just need time. Politics is the same way. If we start today, we can start that difficult house cleaning that's required in 14 months. If we start today, we can make sure that in 2017, the legislature is more responsive than this legislature. The people of Texas spoke very boldly. The people of Texas did not halfway vote for a bold agenda. The people of Texas overwhelmingly endorsed a bold agenda. Look at the Texas Senate. Look at the Lieutenant Governor. Look at the Attorney General. Look at the Governor. Look at, go down the line. People of Texas expect big things. They don't expect little things. The people of Texas expect Austin to be governed differently from Washington. Our lawmakers have a choice. And that's the choice you and I should be communicating with them today, and tomorrow, and throughout session. That we expect them to govern in accordance with the wishes of the people of Texas, not the yahoos in the Austin lobby. You and I have the opportunity to lead, and that's precisely what you're doing here today. Thank you for being leaders in our state. Thank you for your time.
So, hey, I've been vindicated. I've been vindicated. My numbers are not bad.
Your numbers aren't bad.
Okay.
That's what I want to hear.
Hey, Michael, question real quick. It's hypothetical, but if we had a vote, all of us, citizens of Texas, could vote for the Speaker of the House, who do you believe would win tomorrow?
Scott Turner would win in a landslide. Yep. I think you saw that in elections around the state where it was a contest in many ways of the lobby establishment candidate versus a candidate of the people, a candidate of conservatives, a candidate of conviction. I think you saw that in many elections, and in election after election, the conservative won. And I think that's where Scott Turner would. I would note that here in the back of the room we've got, I think, the remaining hard copy versions of the Joe Strauss record, a little booklet that kind of gives some talking points on, record votes and other things of how Joe Strauss has governed and how he has voted, just so for your edification. Also, this afternoon, back here in this room, we will have for folks to pick up a copy of the new publication that we'll be producing every week, hopefully every week, during the legislative session. We're producing very regularly anyway, called Texas Scorecard. It's a newspaper that will focus on the goings-on of the Texas legislature and Texas politics. You can visit texasscorecard.com and see the daily version of that. But if you would like to come back by here, get a hard copy, we'll have some here. And if you will go to our website, texasscorecard.com, there you can sign up to get a free copy of it sent to your home via the U.S. Postal Service. So you can look for those today. Thanks again, Rick.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. You bet.